Good afternoon, I'm J. Lenora Bressler, and welcome to the October 6, 2017 edition of the Bible, Delight in the Details, as we continue to look at sometimes overlooked details of the Exodus narrative. In Exodus chapters 13 and 14, and then into 15, we see the narrative of the deliverance of the Israelites from slavery in Egypt. And one of the things that is very interesting to me is that we always have to keep in mind that this was the great turning point for the Israelites. This was the beginning of their nation. This was the really beginning of them as a people of the earth. Yes, you can go back to Abraham, of course, but as a actual nation, it was with the deliverance of these people from slavery out of Egypt. And it's similar to Christians today. We are brought out of the Egypt of sin, and we become a people, a nation unto God. We are priests, and we are God's people. And we are related. We are citizens of heaven. We are brothers and sisters to one another. We are brothers and sisters of Christ. We are co-heirs with Christ. So in a lot of ways, the Passover, meaning the experience of how the Israelites came that night so long ago out of bondage in Egypt into freedom, and then of course ultimately to the promised land, is very, very symbolic of what happens to we as Christians. And it is in that vein that I point out a detail that you find in chapter 14, and that is when the lambs that were slain were supposed to, after they'd been eaten for the Passover meal, the quick, in that case, Passover meal, the blood was to be put on the doorposts. And it's interesting that Moses tells them that it goes, both on the mantle and the lintel, which means they were going to take the blood and literally smear it horizontally and vertically. Does that sound like anything? Maybe like the cross, maybe like the blood of the Lamb, Jesus Christ on the cross. When you realize that even the way they were told to smear the innocent lamb's blood on their doorposts for protection, when you realize that that is so symbolic, it is so, it implies so clearly the cross and the blood of Christ, the Lamb of God on the cross. It's an overwhelming image. And one of the things that I guess it's the teacher and trainer in me that I frankly love about God is God knows how to teach people. Of course, He should. He made us. He knows how we learn best. But people learn so well through visual symbols, through seeing something. So many of us are visual and we're tactile. And so when you see something, it resonates, and it's something that you see in your mind's eye forever and ever. And that picture of an innocent lamb's blood horizontally and vertically on a door is so symbolic of Christ, the Lamb of God, who takes away the sins of the world on a cross, and also should remind you of when Christ says in the New Testament, I am the way, I am the gate. He is the door. I'm J. Lenora Bressler. Visit me on the next edition of the Bible, Delight in the Details. Have a marvelous weekend.